you've had limited numbers this week. How do you feel about the group that's been here and some of the guys that you've had coming up from Defiance to train with you?
So we're missing 11 guys by my count. I don't think we lost anybody today in training, did we, Matt? No? I think we're good. 11. We'll recircle the wagons in there just to triple check. But the week's actually gone pretty good. I mean, you can tell it's fall in the air. Playoffs are coming. We had a good couple of games against our arch rivals. Now we're playing against a good RSL team that's desperate to win. So these games are good. They're good for the entire squad. And so, guys that may have a role in the playoffs get a taste of what it feels like this week, because we'll get guys back and, then competition for places and all that sort of stuff. But it's really good for this group to play against a, top team, desperate team, well-coached team. So it should be good.
Specifically about the Defiance guys, have you made any final decisions about who you will be calling up, or
do you have 3 call-ups?
And what have you thought of the level that they brought?
Good. I mean, Defiance, the whole youth organization at this club, has done a really good job. I mean, top to bottom, there's lots of people that have pitched in, but it's also the players themselves. The players come here, they get a workout with the team in different parts of the year. They understand kind of what we expect, and they understand that it's a little bit more pressure than what they're used to, but they enjoy it. They always give maximum effort. We had a lively 5-on-5 session today where, Peter was going against Tino, and it was good. I enjoy watching that.
Brian, when you're missing players, how much do you balance the opponent, your system, and those players' attributes in a game? Specifically,
Well, we always, when we make any lineup, whether we're with a full squad or other squad, we take into consideration our opponent, but it's always the same, and we want to try and do what we're going to train and what we want to try and accomplish, but we understand that sports is sports, and it doesn't always work that way, and we might have to adapt. We might have to make subs, or players on the field have to make subtle changes to the game plan, but we always take everything into consideration.
Danny Leyva, you talked a little bit about he's been playing up now. There's possibly going to play him back. What are you seeing from him? What attributes does he bring in that back position?
Good possession. Look, he and JP have played a lot of games together. So I'm not worried about that one bit.
Coach, my understanding is that for some of the call-ups, you could kind of block them, especially for the youth players. How do you balance the individual? Well, if it's not the A team, you could make it difficult, let's say. So my question is, how do you balance the individual?
I don't understand the question.
Well, I think in some cases the club can prevent the players from going to national teams.
He's talking about Snyder and the U19 team.
No, we can't. And they've made a rule that whether it's the 19s, the 20s, it's
okay,
a rule.
I'm sorry, my understanding was that the club had some power when it was not a native. Also, I'll ask a different question. Is there any scenario where we can see Osaze, Danny Muzovsky, and Jordan Morris all on the field at the same time?
Sure. If we need a goal, sure.
Earlier this week, you mentioned both Stu and João Paulo as players who might see more minutes than they've been seeing in the past because of injuries.
Yep.
How did they get through this week, and what kind of workload do you think that they're capable of?
Well, the workload is just dependent on, the game, how it unfolds. Is it going to be a stretch, wide open game? Can we control some of the tempo? Can we slow the game down in the right moments? That'll dictate how many minutes guys play. With Stewie coming back from an injury, it's always challenging there. JP's injury, he's been good. He's been in full training for a while, so I'm not concerned about that.
And how are you feeling with Pedro's injury? How is it? How did he come out of last week? We never really asked about it.
Well, good. I mean, it's not getting any worse. It's still It still hurts him. He still runs with a different gait than we're used to, but it's not getting any worse.
Coach, what do you think the influence of Pedro? He's on the team. Last game, he was talking very eloquently about the Seattle and the support that he gets from the fans, even when the Mariners are playing. How do you think he has adapted to this team?
He's adapted very well. He's a very grounded, nice, well-rounded young man. I think it was easy for him to assimilate into our locker room, into our culture. I think this group of players is extremely close. His relationship with the fans obviously is, when you score golazos, they love you. If you don't do the work, they might not love you. And so it pushes him to be the best player that he can be. But he's a great kid, and we love having him around.
With Jordan Morris still working his way back to full fitness, outside of just putting the ball in the back of the net, is there anything you're still looking for from him on the field?
I thought he had a much better game last game, better outing. He was influential in the match, even though he didn't score. His run that dragged 2 defenders to the near post opened up that space for Pedro, and that's something that he has to do. He understands that, and he made that happen. So it's been good. He's been getting better.
It's Fan Appreciation Week. You also will be dropping the League's Cup banner. I don't know, is there any special meaning when you get to, what's it feel like when you see a new banner getting unveiled? You've now been able to see it a few times.
It never gets old. I hope that all the fans that might watch my press conference today might take a second look, come down to the stadium. It's a reward for the work that the guys did in that tournament. It's a reward for you guys for supporting the team. So we'd like to obviously have as many people there as we can. But, for me, it never gets old. Fan Appreciation Night is important, because it started many, many, many years ago with the carnations and kicking the balls out and, bringing people down on the field and stuff like that. It just... my favorite quote is the club is the connection that the fans and the players have. That's what I think this club is all about. Fan Appreciation Day is a good way, an easy way for these players to make sure that the fans feel appreciated.
Coach, DeAndre Edlin had a brief but very bright passage through the Sounders, and he has a lot of Seattle connections. What do you feel about him returning to Seattle, and is there anything that you can tell us about why, when he moved back to MLS, he didn't come back to the Sounders?
Well, I have no idea, because I'm not his agent. Seattle was his home growing up. He's had a fantastic career. He's doing very well in a new look RSL. Playing with 2 forwards suits DeAndre. He's always liked to be getting forward in attacks, and so having 2 targets inside the penalty box makes his job a little easier. So he's done really well in his career, and we'll be happy to see him.
Any other questions? You guys?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.